All right, how you doing? Aaron Parker, Parker Safes and Vaults. I want to give you a look today at the difference between the American Security Amsec, as they're commonly called, American Security BF2, and the American Security regular BF series. The main difference between these two is going to be what's behind the door. The BF2, their bolt works is the same bolt works that they use in their TL15 rated safes. And then the thickness of the walls, so the steel on the walls. And I'll show you a cutout of that. All right, let's see here. So this is the BF over on this side, and we've got an 11 gauge outer, a 12 gauge inner. And that's how they've been built for years, was the BF series. I think, people were worried that there wasn't enough steel in the BF series, the way it was built. So they came up with this BF2 series. This has an 11 gauge outer and a 5/16 plate inner, 2 inches of concrete in between the layers. So even on the BF, I mean, to me, it's plenty, because if you're a bad guy and you're trying to torch or cut through this steel, you get through that first panel, which is really hard because you don't get a clean shot cutting through the steel. You're right up against the concrete. But let's say you do get through the steel, then you've got to chip out all this concrete in here. It's basically not concrete, but it's a proprietary substance. It sets up like concrete, but it's called dry light. But at any rate, you got to get through all this hardened material and then cut through this panel. All right. So a lot of work there in either one, but especially this one. So on the BF2, 11 gauge outer, bust through all this if you're so inclined, and then you're going to get thwarted, hopefully, by a 5/16 panel of steel there. And then the bolt works, excuse me there, let's see. Well, let's open these up. So a little bit of difference on their bolt works. You can see the handle is offset here, 5-spoke handle. It's right in the center of the safe on the BF, offset on the BF2. They both have the side pull handles. We've got the door consists of a solid 1/2-inch plate, all right? So there's none of this, misleading verbiage such as multi-plate door, composite door, 1/2-inch plate door edge thickness. This is a solid 1/2-inch plate all the way across the door. You don't have to wonder what you're getting there. Then we have, I think it's a 1/2 inch of the dry light poured in insulation here, and then I think it's an 11 gauge liner there. Then even the panel, I've got one here, even the panel that holds your door organizer, right? That's a layer of steel too, all right? So on the BF, we only have active bolts on the strike side, okay? There's nothing on the top or bottom, but the way they build these, kind of like a commercial grade, you really don't need any bolts on the top or the bottom, in my opinion. There's not enough room to pry, get any purchase or anything, and of course nothing's going to flex with that 1/2-inch plate of steel. There are bolts back here, but these are stationary bolts. We do have a detent here that doesn't let you roll the bolts with the door open. So when the door shuts, kind of like a refrigerator light switch, see if I can show you. There's this little detent, can't really see it, but behind that bolt right there, it pushes in against the frame when you shut the door. So we shut the door, that little detent hits, and then I can roll the bolt. Why is that? That's so that you don't inadvertently, when the door is open, roll the handle, extend the bolts, and then try to shut the door and mar up our safe. All right, so that's all that's about. Shelving is all adjustable in here. There are some nice steel panels here that can go over top of your long gun dividers, right? And I'll grab the camera here in a minute and give you a little closer look at some of this stuff. But some things that I really like about the American Security, of course, concrete's a big one, right? Almost all the other safes out there, with the exception of Griffunder, they're doing, especially your gun safes, they're just doing sheetrock in it, okay? Nothing really wrong with sheetrock as far as a fire retardant, but concrete from a fire retardant standpoint and security is a lot better. So these have little panels here that'll flip over that. You can take those off. All your shelving is adjustable here, and it's a nice fabric. Let me see if I can grab one of these for you. So it's not it certainly doesn't feel cheap. It's a nice kind of a velour fabric. It's kind of thick. There's padding on it, so it's not just a little bit of fabric on a piece of press board. It's a little nicer than that. They do come with they come with a lot of nice little features that some of the other companies don't. For instance, they all come with touch-up paint, so that's nice. If you get a little nick or something somewhere, they give you touch-up paint. On the two-tones, they give you both color. They have these little buttons here, and what these are for, when you're if you ever have to take the panel off, you pry these off, and sometimes they get a little damaged or something they don't want to pop back on, or you just lose one. They give you 4 extra of those. Fire ratings on the light kits. They come with motion activated light kits, 4 holes to anchor them down. Your door organizer here does have a place for long guns. You can put the butt of a rifle or shotgun in there, long gun, and then just fasten the barrel into that Velcro right there. A lot of little adjustable holsters, zippered pouches, that kind of stuff. 2 fire seals here. The fire seal, it's 120 minutes, so it's a 2-hour rating, and it's also tested by a company called Intertech or ETL. And you can look those guys up. They're a legitimate testing facility. It's a UL rated safe, but they have 2 perpendicular fire seals. So one's here on the edge of the door, and then there's a flat gasket here as well. So when your door seats up, you get 2 fire seals there. But 120 minutes at 1200 degrees on these. And that includes the BF. BF2 and BF as far as fire ratings, and most interior options and things like that are the same. They do have a mirror in the back, kind of reflects that light, it's just a lot lighter in there. Same way with the BF here, we've got these 2 metal panels that will cover up these gun slots if you were so inclined. You can do all shelving. You can take these out, put long guns on one side or both. They do have some cutouts here. If you have a longer barrel long gun, you can run the barrel up through there, seat it into place. Man, I think that is about it. They're built in the U.S., made in the United States. So unlike some of the verbiage out there that you kind of have to work through, a lot of them say made in America, and that could be Mexico, which nothing wrong with that necessarily, but if you're looking for a U.S. built safe, these are U.S. built. Come in a bunch of different sizes. Weight-wise, this one is around 1,700 pounds. For the BF2, that's a 6636. This is a BF 6032, I believe, and it's around 900 pounds. Let me grab this and I'll show you. So I'm not going to get real close here with all this bolt works because I don't want to give anything away about, but this is, as far as security goes, I want to make sure the bad guys have a hard time at it. But their bolt works, this is all, what you're seeing right here is about 3/4 of an inch of solid hard plate that's behind the lock box there. And this is a relocking system here. Your bolt works are tied into this 1/4 inch channel here. Forgive me, I'm not giving you a whole lot of information, but we want to keep this on the down low if we can. So, but these are kind of unique in the way they fasten. So these are the bolts, your side bolts, strike side bolts. So anyway, that's kind of a quick look at the inside of a BF2. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you having a look. If you like the video, please press the little like button and subscribe to our page. Leave any comments. I'll try to get to them. I'm not, I don't sit at the desk much, so it may take me a little bit of time to respond, but I will get to you. Thanks for having a look. Aaron Parker, Parker Safes and Vaults.